A much-beloved banner at the Redbird Missionary Conference Center inspired visitors for years with the words, "The sign of God is that we are led where we did not plan to go." No truer words can be said about our two honorees tonight, Lindsey and Jennifer Davis. They could never have imagined what amazing adventures in faith God had in store for them. The only child of Hobart and Georgia Mink, Jennifer was born into a rich mountain heritage of strong family values and Southern Baptist roots. Jennifer excelled in her studies and set her sights on becoming a public school math teacher, like her father.
My parents were very influential in my life. They both were teachers in a coal mining camp called Balkan, Kentucky. My dad was a math teacher and he supplemented his income by driving the bus, and so as a little girl he would take me on his bus runs with him and then bring me back. My beginning school was at a 3-room school where my mother was the head teacher. We had the pot-bellied stoves, we had outhouses. I loved Eastern Kentucky. I still love Eastern Kentucky. I thought I would go to college, become a teacher, and move back and live out the rest of my days in Eastern Kentucky as a teacher.
Lindsey, on the other hand, was born to go places. The question for him was only, which way do I go? Born the eldest son of George and Geneva Davis, Lindsey exhibited a spark to get ahead early on. His potential began to shine among peers in his Georgetown United Methodist Youth Group.
I was invited by a pastor of the Georgetown United Methodist Church to come and preach a revival, and so I did. And my invitation was like this: I want you to come forward tonight, and you're coming tonight, you're saying, if I feel the call, tonight or sometime in the future, I will answer that call. And then Lindsey Davis, being Lindsey Davis, got up out of his seat and came forward first. And then all the other young people followed him. And then I knew that he was a leader.
Indeed, Lindsey became president of the conference youth and also of his high school senior class. Both he and Jennifer enrolled at Union College in Barberville, Kentucky, where, as an upperclassman, Lindsey served on her freshman orientation committee. She reflects back, "I didn't know any Methodist young men till thankfully I met Lindsey." Soon they were dating. As Jennifer continued her studies at Union College, Lindsey accepted a full scholarship to attend Duke Divinity School.
I had felt a calling to ministry earlier in life, and so I decided that maybe I would give seminary a chance. And Duke had a wonderful program for students who were not perhaps sure about ordained ministry, but they wanted to go to seminary and see what that was like. Looking back on that experience at Duke, it was a good experience for me. I learned a lot about myself, but also learned that I wasn't quite ready, I think, to go in that direction.
So Lindsey returned home to pursue a degree and a career in higher education at the University of Kentucky. His relationship with Jennifer grew stronger too, and by the time she was named Miss Union College in her senior year, Lindsey had no doubt she was the only one for him. By spring, Lindsey popped his now infamous marriage proposal to Jennifer.
He looked at me and he said, "You wouldn't want to marry me, would you?" And I said, "Yes, I would." I understood double negatives being from Eastern Kentucky, so I said, yes, I would marry him.
They were soon married in her home church of Pineville First Baptist. Life kicked into full gear on a number of other fronts as well. Jennifer completed her master's in education at EKU and took her first job teaching math in Lexington. Their family began to grow with the birth of their first child, John. Lindsey also had the privilege of working with some remarkable administrators at the University of Kentucky College of Medicine. There he helped develop cooperation between the Chandler Medical Center and the Veterans Administration Hospital, a partnership which quickly became a national model. Seeing Lindsey as a rising star, the University of Alabama hired him away as a new director in their College of Community Health Sciences. With Jennifer now able to stay at home with their second child, Laura, the Davis family was able to settle into a comfortable routine. The Lord had other plans, however. He simply would not let go of Lindsey's heart.
Jennifer knew that I had been struggling with the call to ministry earlier in our life together. I had a good job, I was doing work that I enjoyed, and God continued to pursue me. Every Sunday when we would go to church, there was that still small voice kind of in the background saying, "Oh, this is really wonderful, Lindsey, but it's not really what I want you to do with your life." And so I eventually decided that I needed to go back to seminary. And so, I resigned my position at the university. We sold the house. We moved back to Kentucky.
With Jennifer's full support, Lindsey enrolled at the Lexington Theological Seminary, and Jennifer went back to her first love of teaching. Within 2 years, Lindsey graduated and was assigned to Lexington's First United Methodist Church as their associate pastor. From there, he went on to serve with distinction as pastor of Paintsville Mayo Memorial, and then Lexington's St. Luke United Methodist Church. His ministry journey was not without a few bumps, however.
I've made my share of mistakes along the way. I've mangled liturgy. I forgot one Sunday to take up the offering. That's a cardinal sin in the church. I dropped wedding rings one time. They rolled halfway out of the church before we could track them down. And as an associate pastor at First Methodist Church, while my friend Billy Ray Jennings was giving a rather long pastoral prayer one Sunday morning, I fell asleep in front of 500 people.
Although not perfect, Lindsey has always loved his people, and they have always loved him. After playing a key role in uniting the old Louisville and Kentucky conferences, God led him to his greatest role of service yet. At the record young age of 48, Lindsey Davis was named a 20-year bishop, a rarity in the United Methodist Church, and a privilege granted only to the finest of leaders. Assigned to the North Georgia area, Lindsey quickly established himself as a decisive and visionary leader during challenging times. These traits shone again on the board of Emory University, where he continues to serve as vice chair. Jennifer, who had set aside her teaching career to support Lindsey as bishop, began sensing a new and fresh call upon her own life.
In 1998, we took our first trip to Honduras, and I fell in love. Part of it was it reminded me of the mountains of eastern Kentucky where we went. A whole lot of it was the children that we worked with in the schools. We had raised sufficient funds to build a school in the village of Coluco, an elementary school that serves approximately 200 children, tuition-free. They don't have to buy supplies, they get fed a meal. The first village we worked in, they had a need for a new kindergarten classroom community center. So we were able to raise funds here in Kentucky to build that facility for them. So I guess education has always been a part of my life, and to enable children in countries who don't have the resources that we do in America to be able to get an education has been a real blessing.
Jennifer's partnership with the people of Honduras continues to this day, transforming a once lost and forgotten region of the world with the love of Christ. In 2004, Lindsey faced challenging times in his personal life when he and Jennifer were given the devastating news that he has a rare form of cancer. True to character, they have faced the ensuing surgeries together as a family, with faith and courage, never giving up on life or ministry.
If you haven't had, some kind of life-threatening issue in your life, you will. It will happen one day. And so I need to give Jennifer credit because she's been my nurse, my primary nurse these 12 years. And she doesn't allow any whining or complaining, and so I've had to get by without doing that much over these last 12 years. But she's been right there by my side.
Through it all, Lindsey and Jennifer have embraced the many highs and lows of their life with an incredible measure of humor and grace, valuing each day as a precious gift of God. In 2008, Lindsey was reassigned to come home as bishop of our Kentucky Annual Conference during another extremely challenging time for the church. With the economy collapsing and a culture rapidly pulling away from its traditional Christian foundation, he has led with conviction, courage, and creativity to a brighter day in which many of our churches and ministries are now stronger and more self-sufficient than ever before. Upon his recent retirement, the conference joyfully celebrated many outstanding achievements during Lindsey's 20 years as a bishop, including the ordination of over 500 new pastors, the start of 150 new worshiping congregations, and close to 90,000 new professions of faith. To God be the glory. The conference also celebrated the 20-plus years that Lindsey and Jennifer have led annual pilgrimages to the Holy Land, leading thousands to a deeper understanding and appreciation of their faith. Today, Lindsey and Jennifer look forward to a more relaxed pace in life, spending quality time with family and friends. And we look back with thanks and praise for how God has led this faithful couple to bless us all and the world in so many amazing and extraordinary ways. We are honored to present Lindsey and Jennifer Davis, 2016 recipients of the Heroes, Saints, and Legends Award.